Rutgers routed by stifling defensive effort from JuJu Watkins, no, for USC. Playing 3 top 10 teams in 1 week is a brutal, and often unusual, task, as Rutgers women's basketball head coach JuJu Watkins noted after Thursday's loss to No. 8 Maryland, without star freshman Keomi McMiller not playing due to a coach's decision. As she posted publicly on Instagram 6 hours before the game, the task was made exponentially more difficult. The Scarlet Knights, 8-7, 0-4, fell to No. 4 USC 92-42 at Jersey Mike's Arena on Sunday night, giving Rutgers its 9th straight conference loss dating back to last season. Trojan star guard JuJu Watkins was one of 3 USC players in double figures, leading all scorers with 23 points on 8 for 23 shooting from the floor. She also grabbed a season-high 14 rebounds for her second double-double of the season, the first since the season-opening win over Ole Miss in Paris. Kennedy Smith and Kiki Iriafen also scored in double figures, with 19 and 14 points respectively. Rutgers' offense looked disjointed all night, committing 27 turnovers and struggling to handle the Trojans' press for much of the game. Washington declined to expand on McMiller's absence. "We're going to keep it internal," she said, before talking about her duty as a basketball coach is to not only coach on game days, but also prepare and help her players grow as people in their lives. USC got out to a quick start, but Rutgers was able to keep up in the opening minutes thanks to forcing multiple turnovers to start, but it was off to the races once the Trojans cleaned up some of their issues with the ball. The Scarlet Knights' defense did manage to force 16 turnovers on the game, tied for the 7th most committed by the Trojans this year, but only managed 4 points off those turnovers. USC scored 38 points off turnovers to propel the offense forward and pull ahead. Destiny Adams notched her 6th double-double of the season with 10 points and 10 rebounds, to go along with 5 steals on the defensive end. JoJo Lacey led the Scarlet Knights in scoring and was the only other player in double figures with 14 points before fouling out in the 4th quarter. The game was hyped up as a premier matchup of the country's top underclassmen guards between McMiller and Watkins, but the latter said after the game that while it was disappointing to not face a fellow 5-star, the ultimate goal was winning the game. "She's a good player," Watkins said after the game. "I'm always excited to play against good players, so I guess I was a little disappointed that she wasn't on the floor. I think the main goal was always to win with or without players." When asked about the absence of McMiller, USC head coach Lindsay Gottlieb said they stuck to a lot of their own game plan coming in. "We prepared to have her," she said. "Obviously, she's a big part of what they do, but I told the team when we found out she was going to be out. Sometimes other people take that opportunity to step up, and we couldn't be any less locked in on our game plan." She said they tried to key in more on Adams as the primary option, and held her to a 3 for 10 scoring mark from the floor with 6 turnovers. "I don't know what's going on there, but I hope the best for everybody, and we just tried to take the challenge that was in front of us," Gottlieb added on McMiller's absence. Rutgers continued to struggle to execute on offense, shooting just 28% from the floor and 5 for 14 from the three-point line. The Scarlet Knights have navigated the toughest part of the Big Ten schedule, but it does not get much easier with the road matchup against Minnesota before returning home to play 3 of the next 4 games against ranked teams, including No. 1 UCLA on January 23rd. Rutgers needs to find its mojo back, with or without its star freshman in Tao, and quickly, before the season spirals out of control. USC versus Connecticut, an elite rematch between stars JuJu Watkins and Paige Bueckers. The seeds for the most anticipated matchup of this women's college basketball season were planted decades earlier in the halls of Scarsdale High School in New York, where Gina Auriemma was hot on the trail of one of the sport's most coveted recruits. As part of his full-court press to convince her, the Connecticut coach went so far as to enlist the help of her best friend, who would one day make a name for herself in the same world as Auriemma. Lindsay Gottlieb tried her best to convince her friend, Hillary Howard, on Connecticut, to no avail. but the relationship between Gottlieb and Auriemma remained. When Gottlieb injured her knee as a high school senior, Auriemma reached out to offer his help. It was during that recovery process that Gottlieb first considered coaching, and over the years, as she climbed through the ranks, Auriemma would offer regular encouragement. When she led California to the Final Four in 2013, Auriemma, in the midst of a dynastic run with the Huskies,